Okay, we're back with our top 10 list, Mike and Mark. Um, we are going to feature uh, Spocks Beard, the band that existed between the album The Light and Snow, um, before Neal Morse's departure. So this is just the first part.
From 95 till '02, I believe.
95 to '02, right, right. So this band is a band from Los Angeles, and they were founded by the Morse brothers, Neal and Alan, and Neal became the kind of the force behind the band and did pretty much all the writing. Um, and the first song he ever wrote was "The Light," and this on their first album. Um, and they were they were kind of peaking as much as a prog band could peak with Snow, and they were if they would have kept going, who knows? But Neal left, and we can talk about what he's done on a different video. But he left and left quite a legacy. This is a band that Mike and I both absolutely love, and there's some cherished stuff on here. So I'll let Mike add something to it. I'm sure he's got something to say about this great band.
Well, there's no question for me. They're definitely a top 5 band for me. They're since the minute I heard their first album, which I still remember, and I can point to the road where I was when I first realized how amazing these guys were. And it wasn't just their first album; it was their second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. They're just incredible. And the next two lead singers, they've got some excellent albums as well that we aren't going to cover, but maybe someday we'll cover them as well. But gosh, I don't know what to say about Spocks Beard other than they're just absolutely amazing. They're just in another class above all the other bands that I love. As much as I love some of these bands that I talk about, Spocks Beard is just so special. The music's just absolutely amazing. The epics, so many epics, and I don't know.
I never thought in my life I would think a band in your eyes could rival Genesis or Yes, and I really think in some ways they do.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question. There's no question. And in 1999, if you had told me that, I would have thought you were nuts. That there's somebody around at that point that could be on the same level as them, and they certainly are. There's no question about it.
Yep. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and start the top 10 here.
This should be fun.
This should be fun. I think it's going to be a lot. We're going to have pretty much probably close to the same list.
It should be very close.
It should be very close. Maybe some differences on the honorable mentions, but I'll go ahead and start. My first one, title track to The Light, which is the most incredible thing the first song Neal ever wrote, and it's amazing. Go the Way You Go, another one on the first album, The Light. The Doorway, incredible song. a big live song for them. Walking on the Wind, Time Has Come, The Good Don't Last, Harm's Way, Flow, and two songs from the album 5 or V, whatever you want to call it, The Great Nothing and At the End of the Day. So those are my top 10 songs. I just realized that I don't have anything from Snow on there. I really, even though I love Snow, I couldn't. It's kind of different. It's a story, and the songs all kind of flow together. It's kind of hard to pick one. It's kind of like The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. It's hard to just pick out something out of that. Anyway, so here's my honorable mentions, and we're gonna hit some of the Snow stuff here. Crack the Big Sky. As I'm talking here, I'm thinking I'm leaving something out. Open Wide the Floodgates, Wind at My Back, and All Is Vanity, which is a incredible song. Those all three are from Snow. I know what song I left off here, and I'm going to add it right now since I'm thinking about it. I'll say it at the end. After All Is Vanity, June, a beautiful ballad, and then Thoughts 1, and then Thoughts 2. And the one that I left out was Distance to the Sun. And I'm going to add it right now. So that's my list. I absolutely love this band. Like Mike said, it's a top 5 band. Could be number 1. But anyway, that's my list. Mike, you're up.
All right. Well, very similar as expected, but there's always those 3, 4, or 5 songs that we have different. But these are very, very similar. 7 out of 10 on the top 10s that we agree on. So I'll go album to album here. From The Light, the first album, title track, of course. Definitely a top 3 song for me from them. And Go the Way You Go. You can't get much better to start off an album with those 2 songs. The only one I have on my top 10 from Beware of Darkness is The Doorway. From The Kindness of Strangers, there's actually 3. I have June, Harm's Way, and Flow, of course. Flow is just absolutely amazing.
Do you remember Neal told us that at least the first part of Flow he wrote when he was 12 years old. 12 years old.
Yeah. Off of the 5 album, the 2 unbelievable epics, At the End of the Day and The Great Nothing, of course. And then lastly, 2 off of Snow, Open Wide the Floodgates and Wind at My Back. I tried to sneak those into the honorable mention, but they just kept staying in the top 10, and I couldn't replace them with anything else. I just love those songs. So, like I said, 7 out of 10 we agree on. And the 3 that you don't have in your top 10, you have in your honorable mention. So, just a little bit different from you on the honorable mentions, though. I think I've got, looks like only 2 songs. 3 songs, I think, that you didn't mention at all. First of all, From the Light, the Water. Crazy as it may be,
Yeah.
That's a darn good song.
Yeah.
It's unique. There's nothing else
There's
like it.
nothing like it.
Yeah,
No.
it's a cool
And
song.
why I don't have it on the list, I don't even know.
Yeah,
I thought about it,
yeah.
and then I started thinking about Snow because I wanted to give it its due, and
And
the water kind
I
of.
really don't listen to it as much as I should.
Oh, I don't listen to the
I
water.
never think, I never say, you know what, I'm going to listen to the water.
Yeah.
I should, and I will. A couple that Mark had in his top 10 from Beware of Darkness that are in my honorable mention. Walking on the Wind, and probably something that Mark and I have never discussed, that belongs in these is Time Has Come. You know, we can talk about all these other songs, but we never say, you know how great time has come is, has come is, and it's a great song.
It's in my
made,
top.
Made in your top 10.
It's in my top 10.
And
I absolutely love it.
It's right there. Yeah, it's such a cool song. From the Kindness of Strangers, The Good Don't Last, which was in your top 10, and In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh.
I
Yeah.
I tried to keep it out of there, but I couldn't.
You know what?
I just like that song.
That was what I was doing this list. That wasn't on the radar, but you know what? That's a little short, little powerful song. It just, yeah.
And another one that is just so unique. There's nothing there's nothing you could compare In the Mouth of Madness to. Not a Spocks Beard song, or not anybody.
No.
I wouldn't even know how to describe it to somebody. Actually, I have two from Day for Night, which is probably the album that I go to least of the 6 albums. The title track, Day for Night, and like you had mentioned, The Distance to the Sun. What a great song, great ballad.
Yeah, awesome.
And finally, on my honorable mentions is "Stranger in a Strange Land" from Snow. I think you left that one off, but
wait a minute, isn't that Nick DiVirgilio on vocals? It is.
It might be.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is.
It is. In DV.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say about Spocks Beard. Really, I mean, there's.
You know, one thing we didn't talk about and we really rarely mentioned, Nick DiVirgilio's background vocals. He's got just an incredible voice, and all the high parts in the background vocals that we kind of don't. I don't think we give enough credit. His background vocals are they're amazing.
Yeah, they are. They were.
And everybody says he's a great drummer. I mean, I don't know how to judge drummers. I'm not a musician, but
no, his backing vocals were fantastic,
Yeah.
and that's something I guess we never really discussed or appreciated enough.
No,
but I'm glad you mentioned it.
I think there's something to be said for that. There's some that was a key to this band. So much greatness. Honestly, you know, if you think about it, there's always something that maybe you don't care for, or something from a band. But these guys, even the songs we didn't put on here, they're all good. There's nothing bad in the bunch.
Yeah,
You know.
the whole thing was amazing. You know, on top of the writing and the songs, the musicianship was just incredible.
Yeah.
And
the writing style is where it's. I mean, that's where it's at. I mean, yeah, they're great musicians. Yeah, some people say great musicians are a dime a dozen. Yeah, that might be true, but writing is everything. If you don't have the ideas, and you forget it, it's not gonna pass with us. So, and to me, the writing here is. Then you throw in the singing and the musicianship and
the talent of Neal Morse in everything he does, and Rio's keyboards are pretty awesome, and
Yeah.
the videos we have of them
Yeah.
are great.
They're
And
gems.
Fortunately or unfortunately, the only time we got to see him was when Neal joined him on stage. We got to see Spock's Beard Mark II, but at least Neal joined him on stage, and we got to see the light performed by the old Spock's Beard,
Yeah.
and I guess that's all they performed, wasn't it?
Yeah. Probably,
So we got to see one song.
right. And as far as moments go, that could be my top live moment ever.
Yeah, that's certainly.
Honestly, I got chills. I couldn't believe it. I was completely blown away.
Yeah,
And that was 11 years ago.
yeah. Good old 3RP Pittsburgh.
Burgettstown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Incredible. Well, that's what we have for Spock's Beard up through snow. And we will hope you like the video. Please subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let us know if you like Spock's Beard. I'd like to hear what everybody has to say. And thanks for watching.